Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the February 26th readings in Al-Anon's Courage to Change and a little time for myself. We'll begin with a serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It's 2 o'clock at the time that I'm recording this, and 2 o'clock is the time that I meditate for 15 minutes with the group that Pam Gregory started. So it's, I'm going to start it right here. I'm just going to say, we are welcoming in an expanded consciousness of love. And me and how many other thousands of people throughout the world who are meditating right now for the next 15 minutes with that mantra, we are welcoming in an expanded consciousness of love. And I will be making this video during the meditation, but it's okay because my heart and my intention is in it. All right, I will take a moment and look this over. The question of the day is, how does learning I can trust other people help me to trust myself? Interesting question. The passage begins with this person being given a phone list at an Al-Anon meeting and realizing that they had a hard time using it because they felt a little uncomfortable. But as they continued attending meetings, they did start using the phone list, and they also got a sponsor. And they found that it was very helpful to be able to talk to people in between meetings. So helpful to talk things out that were on their mind. Today's reminder: when we reach out to other Al-Anon members in between meetings, we build a group of people that we can trust. And the quote is from Paths to Recovery. When we work our program, we realize that we can trust people in Al-Anon, and we also learn that we can trust ourselves. So how does learning I can trust other people help me to trust myself? I don't know if it's just the wording of that question, but I guess just being part of a trusting relationship is very good for my own confidence, because I realize that I am an equal half of that relationship. And if I trust someone, it makes sense that they could trust me. So it's kind of like a reciprocal kind of situation, because I'm part of that relationship unit. If I trust that person, and it's an equal relationship, then that person trusts me. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. And I guess also the idea of humility, that we're all equal. So if it's possible for me to trust other people, then I can probably trust myself. But more than, even more than that, and I could be wrong, I think that just having experiences where it was up to me to do something and I do it, that I learn that I can trust myself. I remember there was a time in my life, like when I was getting divorced and when I was first divorced, and I had this gigantic mortgage. I had this 3-bedroom house. I had a 6-year-old son, and I was getting my master's degree, working 3 jobs. And I remember people, my friends and my family would talk to me and they would just say, like, how are you doing? Like, how are you managing? And I would say, I'm kind of relieved because even though I have so much on my plate, I know I can count on myself. Like, I was so much more confident trusting myself to do what needed to be done than trusting my ex-husband, because I knew that he couldn't do it at the time. But I knew that I could and that I would, because it was important to me. So that was really, when I look back, that was an amazing time in my life because I learned very quickly that I could count on myself. And I still feel that way, even though I haven't been challenged like that in a while. I feel like I like when it comes down to it, I'll do what needs to be done to take care of myself. Yeah, I think that's true. That's pretty cool. All right. This page has a tab and a highlighted sentence. Okay, I'm going to look this over. Mm. Oh my gosh. Okay. Mm. The quote is from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who wrote that amazing book about death and dying, the stages of grief. Oh, the quote, it just, oh my gosh. I don't have that part highlighted, and it's a quote from her. I'm just going to read it. The ultimate lesson all of us have to learn is unconditional love, which includes not only others, but ourselves as well. Ah, such a good book. If you haven't read it, highly, highly recommend. And that's basically it. She summarized the entire book, Unconditional Love. That's what it's all about. Um, oh, she's such an amazing human being. I don't know if she's still alive, but the book she wrote is amazing. She's got more than one book anyway. All right. So this passage is about shame and accepting ourselves and loving ourselves. So the passage starts off by saying that we've all made mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. We make amends for harm that we've done, and we make changes so that we don't repeat the same mistakes. And the thing that I have highlighted is the greatest obstacle to this learning process is shame. That's what I have highlighted. When we feel shame, we have no room in our minds for the fact that we did the best we could. And we don't realize that as human beings, we all make mistakes. When we feel shame, we need a reality check because our thinking is probably distorted. We can share it with an Al-Anon friend because that interrupts the self-destructive thoughts and replaces them with loving ideas and points of view. And we do find out over time that what we think are our worst moments actually helped us learn something powerful and help us move in a positive direction. So today's reminder, shame is an error in judgment. It says that we use shame to hate ourselves for something we did or didn't do in the past. I went back up into the passage, but shame is an interesting thing because I think on some level we need to feel shame like when we're younger, just hear me out, because then we learn what makes us feel good and what doesn't make us feel good, and we don't want to repeat the behavior that makes us feel shame. But I'm not sure that that's exactly right. I'm not sure. But I might be getting like shame and guilt confused. But I do think it's important not to overthink and blow things out of proportion that don't need to be, and to feel shame when it's not necessary. For example, I felt a level of shame when my son was in crisis because I somehow felt that it was my fault, that I did something to cause it, and that if I was a better mother, it wouldn't have happened. And the first thing I heard when I came to Al-Anon was that there was nothing I could do to make it happen. There was nothing I could do to control it, and there was no way I could make it stop. And as soon as I heard it, I knew it was true because I had tried everything to make it better. And I was the best mom every day of my life that I could possibly be. Every day of my life, being a good mom was my first priority. And that is 100% true. Not a doubt in my mind. Every single day, my goal was to be the best mom that I could be. So when my son was having challenges, I guess, it's understandable why I would struggle, but I'm so glad that I finally did find Al-Anon and realized that it wasn't my fault and that I didn't have to feel shame about it. There was nothing to be ashamed of for me or for my son, because my son was always doing the best he could too. He was doing the best he could. There's nothing else to say. And so was I. I had challenges when I was a teenager that didn't involve substance abuse, but I definitely had challenges. And I can say with a 100% confidence that every single day, I was absolutely doing the very best I could. So that's it. Unconditional love. I love that. Makes me want to read her book again. Beautiful. We'll close out with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.